you, you. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning. Won't you share with a friend or two? Good morning to you. You. Good morning, good morning to you. You. Good morning, good morning to you. You. Good morning, good morning to you. And many more, and many more, and many more. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Daring Dialogues. I'm your host today, Shantae Charles, and it is Monday Motivation. It's also episode 45, and if you don't know, we end our season on episode 50. So think a week from today, we'll be wrapping up season 16. I can't even believe I'm saying 16. And then we'll take a couple of days break, and then we'll be back in November to begin season 17. Now we're ending the season, but we're not ending the books that we're currently in. All right. So the books that we're reading will continue into season 17. So if you grab those books, you're going to continue to be reading with us through season 17. Today is Monday Motivation, and it is also the National Day on Writing. It is the perfect time for me to talk to you about writing, the different kinds of writing, hopefully inspire you to get to writing in some way, shape, or form, and share with you a little bit about my own journey as an author, a publisher, and an editor as well, and a poet, and a visual artist. All right. So let's jump into it. The first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and do our reading motivation for today, which I think is also going to tie into this topic of National Day on Writing. Free yourself from negative influences. That is to me like the most perfect topic for today. Free yourself from negative influences. It doesn't mean that the influences won't be there. It doesn't mean that you won't have negative people show up and come through your life. But it does mean that there's a charge and a challenge to you to free yourself from it, to free yourself from the influence, to not allow yourself to be chained to other people's negativity, right? We can't help, we cannot control people, but we can take control over ourselves, our thought process, our mindset, how we are moving through life. And in some cases, especially with things that happen online, we can block those things out. Some of these people are not in your real life, and you don't have to sit through and receive the negativity coming at you. Probably online is probably the easiest way to free yourself from some negative influences, right? Tina Turner, singer, songwriter, and actor, said this in Ebony magazine in 1986. Whatever is bringing you down, get rid of it. Because you'll find that when you're free, your true creativity, your true self comes out. Meditation for today. I release all things that are holding me back from my true self. I say this often. I release all things that no longer serve me, whether that's places, whether that's a mindset, whether that's an idea, whether that's a person. I don't try to hold on to them. I release them. Go your way, do what you need to do, be on your way, be blessed. Why? Because I only want to retain the things in my life that make sense for my life. I only want to retain the things in my life that's going to move me forward in a positive way, in a healing way, right? So the reflection here says, do you ever feel like there's something holding you back from being your true self? If so, you must figure out what it is and let it go. Whether it's your insecurities. These days, I can't tell you how many times people have projected their own insecurities onto me. And I take those projections and I hand them right back. Because no, you don't have permission to weigh me down with your insecurities. I'm sorry. No, does not compute, cannot do. Okay? Whether it's your insecurities, your fears, or doubts, you must not let negativity, including your thoughts and the people you surround yourself with, prevent you from being the best version of yourself. I'm not trying to be the best version of anybody else, which takes me to a memory from this weekend. My husband and I were out to dinner. We were doing a little bit of celebrating, and I was singing some songs I remember, like from the 90s or something like that. What was the song? Um, and if I ever fall in love again, I will be sure that the lady is a friend. Like for some reason I was singing this song. I don't know why, but I think I was just singing it, and somebody at another table behind us, behind my husband, kind of leaned over, and they were like, "Oh, is that Beyonce back there?" And my husband kind of chuckled a little bit because I was like, "Beyonce, what are they talking about?" Right? And so, not saying that Beyonce can't sing, okay? I'm not, but my thing is, I don't compare my sound to anyone else's. So later, as we were getting ready to leave, my husband stood up and then he was talking to the woman that had made the comment as we were getting ready to leave. And at first, she was, "Oh, you sounded so wonderful." And then my husband was like, "Well, she has music of her own out already." And so the lady got excited and she was like, "Oh, do you have some CDs on you?" And I was like, no, I don't typically carry physical CDs on me, but I told her all the places where she could stream my music or she could buy it. And she was like, "Oh, I don't really deal with technology like that. You need to have some physical CDs on you." And I was like, "Okay, I do have a couple of physical CDs, but again, that's not something that I carry with me all the time." But then she came back to the comment about Beyonce, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't mean to offend you. Um, you don't sing like Beyonce. You sing like CC Winans." And I was like, "Why is this lady going from comparing me to from Beyonce to CC Winans?" And I really wanted to tell her, ma'am, it's much more of a compliment for me for you to call me say I sing like Beyonce than CC Winans. Um, especially right now in the context of political views. But I just smiled and I was like, "Okay, thank you for acknowledging my voice, but I'm not trying to fit in with either one of them. I'm just trying to be me." And it's okay, if people are looking for a reference point for you or how you sound. But at the same time, it was a reminder to me to just be myself. I'm not trying to be like anybody else. I'm just trying to be me. All right. So I want you to think about that in your own freedom of expression, in your own pursuing of your own creativity. It is necessary in your self care journey to be the best version of yourself. All right. And I'll be honest with you. I see your comment there, Best Billy. I don't listen to a whole lot of Beyonce music. I mean, obviously, I'm going to hear it because she's popular in the culture, right? I'm going to hear it if I go to a restaurant or things of that nature. But I don't really listen to her music like that. CC Winans, yeah, I've listened to most of CC Winans' music because they inspired me in my faith walk. But where she is right now, I don't know. I don't know. Political wise, I don't think we're on the same page. So a lot of her music I have not listened to in the last few years. But that's a sidebar. All right. For many people, a lot of negativity may be holding us back from our true selves. The topic right now is freeing yourself from negative influences. It's the National Day on Writing. I'm going to talk about writing in just a moment. All right. So, what might be holding us back from our true selves? First off, it's the fear of judgment from people who are sometimes your kinfolk and from people who are not your kinfolk. Some of us can get bogged down with what are they going to think about me? What is somebody going to say about me? This is what I figured out in my short 47 years here on the earth. Okay? People are going to have an opinion about you either way. I've had people say she's not doing enough. Trust me, I get people writing me emails telling me I'm not doing enough. I've written 5 books, 3 physical ones, which I want to talk about today, 2 ebooks, and I still have people emailing me saying, when is your next book coming out? They feel like I'm not doing enough. I could get bogged down in that. I produced 2 music albums on my own, executive produced, that I own the rights to, lock, stock, and barrel. I still have people messaging me saying, when is your new album coming out? I have an album in the works. I have 3 songs that I've already fully produced. I haven't released them yet. Those people would say, I'm not doing enough. Then I have people in my life that think I'm doing the most. They think I'm doing too much. So you're not going to please everybody all of the time. And you have to make up in your mind and in your life and decide, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing right now? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing in this moment? Because trying to please everyone will leave you feeling burned out at some point in time. Another thing that happened over the weekend, there was a concert. 2 of the songstresses that I grew up listening to in my youth, Brandy and Monica, they have a tour going on. I think it's a beautiful thing that both of those women are able to get together and sing their classic songs, right? Because both of them have quite a bit of a, what do they call it? A collection of songs that people have enjoyed over the years. Well, apparently, one of the songstresses, Brandy, had a bit of a health issue. And so she could not continue the rest of her last performance. I think it was, people were saying like the last 20 minutes she had to step off stage. And she said it was due to dehydration, right? I applaud her for not continuing past what she knew her body was saying. But of course, there are other people who think, oh, she should have kept going. You know who kept going and kept going and kept going and is no longer with us anymore because people were unaware of how much the kept goingness they were doing? Chadwick Boseman. You know who else is no longer with us because of the kept going part? D'Angelo. So sometimes we have to make up our mind that we're going to do these 3 words that I say all the time now because it's one thing that the Spirit gave me. I'm going to keep saying it. It's a personal mantra, but I invite you to take it on for your own life. Treat you sacred. Why? Because nobody else is going to be doing it for you. Now, there are people in our life that love us, that honor us, that cherish us, but you have to also love, honor, and cherish yourself. You have to be the plumb line, not externally other people, but you. So ask yourself, am I treating myself sacred? Am I doing all that I know that I can do to honor myself, to value myself, to cherish myself? Or am I waiting on someone else to do that for me? So, yes, sometimes we're afraid of the judgment that comes when we decide to put ourselves first. Sometimes we're afraid of the judgment that comes when we have multiple things going on in our life, whether we're multi talented or whatever, and people are pressing on us for those talents and those gifts and those skills. The writer says our hypervisibility and invisibility cause us to simultaneously worry about being seen as a negative stereotype at times, but also grimace at the idea of people ignoring our existence. In addition, society places roles on us we didn't ask for, such as the competent one at work, whose wins might get ignored because their employer is trying to quietly suppress them. These things can be exhausting to experience and cause psychological warfare. To free yourself from any negativity that is preventing you from being your true self, you will have to make time to reflect on what exactly is holding you back. Is it your relationships, your work environment, your friends, your thoughts, your physical abilities or inabilities, or something else? Only you can uncover the truth of that. You will have to acknowledge whatever is holding you back. Take responsibility for your engagement with it and create a plan to let it go. So we got to evaluate our life. Is there any negativity that is holding you back from being your true self? Take the steps to free yourself from it. Now, I will admit that I can kindly and cordially not give two flying chicken wings, because I don't use that other word, um, not give two flying chicken wings about how somebody feels about what I'm doing. And I say that confidently when I know that my creator has called me to something. I'm not easily swayed to give up what my creator has called me to. I have gotten I have gotten told off. I have gotten threatened. I have gotten released. I've gotten fired sometimes. I've had to let go of some things. I've had to resign some places um, when it didn't align with what my creator has called me to do. I've been unwilling to compromise who I am to serve outside of who I am. Because at the end of the day, guess who I'm going home with? Me. At the end of the day, I have to look in the mirror and accept the person that I see. At the end of the day, I have to be able to look in the mirror and be proud of my own self. And if I can't do that because you're asking me to do something wild or crazy or ungodly or godless or wildly inappropriate that for me would destroy my soul, it's a no for me. And I've been that way all of my life. Hasn't always gotten me anything, the things that I've wanted, but I can close my eyes when I go to sleep at night and have a clear conscience that I didn't do harm to other people to get somewhere in life. Now, let's talk about the National Day on Writing. I want to tell you a little bit, very briefly, about, I'm going to try to shorten it, about my story of how I became an author. And it's an interesting segue because I was in a movie theater and I was watching yet another Black film that I felt like was a mockery of Black people, a mockery of Black love, a mockery of Black women, um, and a mockery of the Black church, all at the same time. Now, that's not to say that more films have not come out with that same formula. There have been, but the film that I was looking at made me very, very angry. And when I came out of that film, I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, can we at least get some films for Black people that just has a basic storyline? Like, why we can't have Hallmark for Black people? Now, keep in mind, this was about over 20 years ago now. I was like, what? Why we keep getting these storylines? I mean, I get it. Some of this is reality, but does every film have to be this? Does every film have to show the dysfunctions? Can we get a Hallmark version for Black people, please? Yeah, that right there. Now, by the way, because of myself and some other people who wrote to Hallmark, we do have a Black version of Hallmark films. They call Mahogany, but that required people to actually say something to the industry about the kind of films we were getting. And still, Mahogany brand films, they still got a ways to go. And as I was having this temper tantrum in my mind about what I was seeing and how I was so displeased with it, the Spirit of God said, why don't you do something about it? You up here complaining about what you see. Why don't you do something about it? Why don't you write the story that you want to see? So I took the challenge. Bet. And that's how I wrote my first book called Church Love, Love Worthy of a Second Chance. Now you can see this is my copy as an author. I do write-ups and reread through because I'm getting ready to focus on the final one. So this was my response to being challenged by the Spirit to say, hey, why don't you add to the record? Why are you waiting for somebody else to give you something that you have the power to do yourself? Good question. And so I started with Church Love, Love Worthy of a Second Chance. And as I wrote, I kept writing because I thought it was just going to be this book. I didn't realize that in my writing process that it was going to open up this whole mental world of these characters and this community of people to the point where I wrote a second book in the series called Church Love, Fresh Fire. And I kept writing and I kept writing. And the world of these characters continued to open up and open up and open up and open up. And I wrote a third book in the series called Fireworks. And believe it or not, the last book in this series that I wrote, the last one was written in 2010 or 2011. And the first book celebrated its 20th anniversary on last year. And so I say all that to say, and these are, by the way, these are not pamphlets. They're all over 400 pages each book. Romance series, because I wanted to talk about Black love in a way that I see Black love being expressed. That doesn't always make it to the big screen. Do I have hopes for these books? Absolutely. I have hopes that eventually they will be turned into films. The storylines are film worthy. I, however, do not want my work to be stolen. Like I see so many authors' works are being stolen these days and put into film. So there's some processes that would need to go on with that. But when it comes to writing, you go through processes. One of the processes I went through, I'm just showing you one of my works for this book here. You go through a process of writing. Okay. So this is my book 3. This is my mock-up. All right. So this is the book in its mock-up state. People say, how do you get from one point to the other? Part of it is writing, reading what you wrote, editing, checking your story, checking that things align, especially if you're writing a series. Okay. Then you go through things like cover designs. These were all mock-ups that I did myself for the cover. And then I finally settled on this cover here. All right. So there are processes that happen. Moving away from talking about books, this National Day on Writing. Basic things. You say, maybe I'm not an author or anything like that. What else is helpful in the writing process? Basic planning, your dreams and your goals. Short term, mid-term, long term, lifetime. Do you have any short-term goals? Do you have any mid-term goals? Things you want to accomplish between 3 months to a year. Do you have any long-term goals? Things you want to accomplish between 1 to 5 years. Do you have any lifetime goals? Things you want to accomplish within the next decade or the next 2 decades. And guess what? I wrote mine down. Some of them I have accomplished. Some of them I didn't accomplish in the window of time that I wanted to, but I still got it done. But it gave me a starting place. I'm not running around aimlessly in life trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. Going back to my writing, when I wrote my first book, one of the things that I did is I got people to review my book. I got people to pre-read it and tell me their thoughts. And then I put together a packet of, my first chapter, and I handed it out. Now, obviously, this was 20 years ago. Now this is easier to do, right? Online. But I could give people a sample of my work and say, hey, if you're interested in it, check it out. Going back to the importance and the power of writing. I wrote this in 2004, and I think I'm probably actually going to redo this format. But vision statements. And this one is pretty long. It's 3 pages. But the questions are the following. What the Creator wants me to be in ministry. Every single person, every single one of us has a ministry. You got to find out what yours is. What is your service to mankind? And what is your service to yourself? What does my Creator want me to do? How do I think it will happen? When do I think it will happen? Why should it be happening? What does my Creator want me to be to my family and my future generations? What does my Creator want me to do about this? How does He want it to happen? Or she? Why do I think my Creator wants me to do these things for my family and my future generations? How does my Creator want me to be health-wise? What should I be doing health-wise? How can I make this happen? What can I do to improve my health? Why should I be improving my health? Again, this is not for public consumption. This is for you. It's for you. It's for you. Okay. Here's another one. It's another form I'm going to revamp. This was a this was a fast and consecration time, and I'm bringing this up because I watched a conversation recently on Kirk Franklin's Den of Kings, and one of the gentlemen on there, NLE Choppa, now known as NLE the Great, was talking about his spiritual journey. And he was talking about how he had retreated from music to take time out, he said, because his spirit wasn't right. He had enough self-awareness to know that something was off about himself that he needed to bring into alignment. I applaud him for even having that much of an awareness. Okay. But when I did my time of spiritual preparation and journey, this is one of the formats that I used. And I won't show you my personal writing, but I'll just show you one where I did the format. So again, I don't necessarily have to go buy a journal. You could buy a journal if you want to, but this was a specific format that I created just for myself, and I printed it out based on the number of days that I was going to be going into my spiritual retreat. It has when I will meet for prayer, things I will abstain from while I'm on this spiritual journey or retreat. Then I have a place for the date. I have a place where I can write down what I read. I can write down what I reflected on about the reading. I can write down things that I'm hearing as I'm sitting and meditating or thinking quietly and not speaking. I'm just listening. I can jot those things down. Things about myself that I learned and reflected on that need to change, I can write it down. Things that have been renewed in me. What is my response to what I'm hearing? And what are my thoughts? And then for me, because I was using the Bible, right? I put down scriptures or texts that stood out to me today. We're talking again about the National Day on Writing, because sometimes when people hear that, they just think, oh, they mean writing a book or writing in your journal. No, sometimes you need to form a plan to get your life together. Nobody, and I do mean nobody, is going to be getting your life together for you without some cost. Now, you might hire a coach to help you life plan and get your life together. I do life coaching and spiritual coaching. I don't take on a whole lot of clients because this is a energy driven work. And so you have to actually really be serious about this in order for me to take you on as a one-to-one client. But I do sometimes do group retreats. Okay. So deciding to organize your spiritual journey, deciding to organize your life vision. Notice I said deciding, okay? Deciding to write down some of your dreams and your goals. Again, these are not necessarily things that you're sharing online. They're not things that you're making public. These are things for you. What is your guiding light? Do you have a template for some of the things you want to do in life? I can go back and look at my writings, and I can look at how long ago they were, and I can notate and I can jot down, yes, I accomplished this. Yes, I did this. No, I did not do that. What was I thinking when I wrote it? Right? I can go back and evaluate my goals and ask myself, was this even realistic? I went back to one of my notebooks this morning and I looked at my spiritual, at the time I wrote down spiritual mentors. I no longer use the word mentor. That's a whole other teaching. spiritual guides. And I looked at my list. Several of the people on my list have since transitioned. They're no longer in this plane of life. Other people on the list, they're absolutely no longer a spiritual guide because they stopped guiding and growing. So they're off the list. Now I could keep the people that I have on there that are still in my life, still consistent, right? But then I can also think about, are there other people that are now in my life that I now consider spiritual guides to help me along the way? When it comes to business owners, do you have a products and services sheet? You know, things that you offer and your costs on this nice nano day of writing. If you don't, I encourage you, make sure you have a products and services list because people are going to ask you for one. And you need to be prepared to tell them how much things cost. All right? If you are a spiritual leader and people are requesting you for things like speaking or singing or teaching, etc., keynote speaking, all of that, do you have a ministry request form? Some people have them through their websites. If you have yours online, that's good. But sometimes people want a physical copy. Do you have a physical copy? If you don't, please get one. That's all. And finally, I'm going to end with a poem that I found as I was preparing for today. This is a poem I don't even remember that I wrote, but I wrote it. I got it down on paper. I wrote it in 2009 and it's titled Lover to Lover. I know it's not Valentine's Day or anything like that, but I said, let me read this out loud. Lover to Lover. I am your bread and butter. I am your milk and honey. I am your chalice of joy. I am your fresh spring rain. I am your gift from God, bearing blessings, not pain. I am your sugar and spice. I am your fire and ice. No need to be naughty. I entice you with my nice. I am the desire of your lips. I am the dream you declared. I am sanctified for you, not to be shared. I am the feminine you that God has prepared. I am the soft to your hard, the smooth to your rough, the places of your heart that no one has touched. The pearl to your oyster, the treasure to be found, the voice that echoes when others are around. I am your more than expected, the one to be protected, forged by the fire, bringing forth pure gold. I am your spiritual manifesto, the one pulled out of your soul. Together we rule righteous kingdoms, tearing down strongholds in Christ's name, celebrating the riches that unfold for God's glory and his fame. For moment by moment, day by day, we speak lover to lover. Creator, we choose to obey. With all my heart, with all my mind, with all my soul, I celebrate my oneness, purpose to purpose, heart to heart, eternity to eternity, faith to faith, glory to glory, lover to lover with you. And again, I don't remember typing this up, but apparently I did. All right. I hope that I have said something today that has made you think, that has got you thinking about your future, that has got you thinking about how can I participate today in the National Day on Writing? Is there something that I can initiate today in writing? Whether it's my goals, whether it's my vision, whether it's journaling, whether it is getting my thoughts down for a new writing or poetry, whether it is sketching out that thing that I have had and been holding in my mind, but I haven't put it on paper yet. What can you do on this National Day on Writing? All right. Let me see if I can bring Pastor Ben on. Pastor Ben, I'm going to send you the link and have you join me. All right. Hopefully you got that link. And I want to say good morning to those of you who are on here. Frida, Luis, and Best Billy 101. Thank you for joining us today. Hopefully, I have said something that has been helpful. I also help people when it comes to writing. I also do some writing coaching. I'm considering doing another small group writers retreat at the beginning of next year. If you are interested in participating in that, you can email me at Daring Dialogues, Dialogues at gmail.com. The Daring Dialogues at gmail.com. And put in your subject line Writers Retreat 2026. All right. Good morning.
Morning.
All right. I think you're there. You go. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. 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 All right. I know I covered a lot. I was trying to zoom through.
Listen. Um, wow. I'm going to tell you that something that came to me this morning, and I haven't put it on Facebook yet.
Okay.
Who formed your opinion of me?
Mm-hmm.
See, I can just leave that just like that. Who formed your opinion of me?
Well, I got two flying chicken wings to give about it.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, I know you and you know me. I don't care what you think about me because that's your opinion.
Yeah. And I mean, I try to be kind about it when I tell people that I could
Hmm.
care less. But the reality is, I could care less because as long as I know that my creator is pleased and I'm
Hmm.
doing what the creator is telling me to do, um, I know some people are not going to like that, right? You come across people that love everything about you and everything you're doing. That's great. But you're also going to come across people that feel like you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. Some of them feel like you don't have the authority to do what you're doing. Some of them question the validity of what you're doing. Some of them question your credentials of what you're doing. Some of them question, for me, my gender in what I'm doing. Some of them question my socioeconomic background. Like, people will lay out all the reasons why you shouldn't be who you are.
Hmm.
And you just got to prepare your mind for that. You're going to get people that question your very existence and your right to do what it is you're supposed to be doing in the earth. And I'm very thankful that I grew up in an environment where people, number one, encouraged me to be myself. My family encouraged me to be myself. They didn't try to fit me into a mold. They were just like, what talent has this girl got now? And how are we going to support it? And I'm
Hmm.
finding that a lot of people struggle in life because they just didn't get that foundational support. And so sometimes they're going through life trying to prove something to other people. I'm not here to prove anything to anybody. I know who I am.
Hmm.
And you either can receive the gift that I am or you can reject it. but I'm still going to be who I'm going to be, whether you receive me or not. And I've always kind of had that idea in my mind, but it was supported and reinforced by my environment. I had people that said, "You are who you are. Don't change who you are in order to get into a door. Don't
Mhm.
change who you are in order to get the bag, right? Because these days everybody is like, I'm getting to the bag. But are you getting to the bag as your authentic self? Or are you getting to the bag and you don't even recognize yourself anymore, but you got the bag? I'm not trying to be that person.
Right. Right.
So
Uh,
if it comes to authenticity or the bag, I'm gonna go with authenticity, because at the end of the day, I have to again look myself in the face and be satisfied with myself.
mhm.
Only person going home with me is me. I,
Mhm.
my husband lays next to me, but he ain't me.
He ain't you.
So I gotta be pleased with me. I don't want to lose me and my soul going after a bag. That's kind of where I am on it. Your thoughts?
Um, I have. I'm gonna speak on a couple of things
Mm-hmm.
real quick. I got a friend. She has an old convertible. Every weekend, she takes it out and posts a video.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody responded that she needs to stop posting videos of her car because they're tired of it. I'm like, well, why don't you tell them to scroll on by?
not
It's not about them.
not them telling her they tired of her posting.
Yeah, that.
I'm sorry, people have audacity. Um, audacity is on sale, and apparently everybody's buying it up.
Hmm.
How about you just not look at her page, or hit
Exactly.
unfollow, or hit hide for 30 days? I know there are
Hmm.
people that post some stuff that I get tired of seeing. You know what I do? Hide for 30 days.
Hmm.
Hide for 30 days. When it was election cycle time, oh my goodness. I was hiding some of everybody for 30 days. Because I was like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to be influenced by it. You know, don't tell me who to vote for. I got eyes, I got ears, I know how to read.
Hmm.
Hide, 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 hide. Election day cycles, election time cycles, I specifically hide a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
So
And
they didn't think that was an option. Just hide. No.
maybe they don't want to use it. They just want to complain.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's your self worth. Number one, we're all unique people.
Mm-hmm.
God made us that way, unique, which means that ain't nobody else like you. Be you.
Mm-hmm.
I had an incident that happened last week. Um, might have been Saturday. Might have been Saturday morning. Yeah. I was doing some work for a guy, and then he told me, I'm gonna give you $150 to put up some blinds. And I told him, well, I can't do it today. I have other things to do. And
Mm-hmm.
then I asked him how many blinds. He
Mm-hmm.
said 13.
No, sir.
I said, you ain't even close. You're gonna tell me no thank you. No, no, no thank you. I do this stuff
13
for a
blinds
living.
for $150?
13 blinds for $150. And he didn't even have all of them there.
Mm-mm.
No, no, sir. Find somebody that's desperate for that,
Yeah.
because that ain't none of me. And I even posted that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy, he hit it right on the head. He said 13 blinds, you're looking at about 4.5 to 5 hours.
Mm.
That's around, at a discount, that's around $350. And I said, you hit it right on the head.
Mm.
That's a discount. And he wanted to give me 150, not even half, which I wouldn't even take half of that because that is a discount, 350,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I'm like, dude, you tried me. No, you tried me.
And what do we
But
do with people who try us like that?
well, you delete
I
them.
mean, I can tell you what I would do. I would be like, this is gonna be the first and last time you quote me something like that.
Hmm.
And
Listen,
here are my prices.
right, that. Now,
Here are my
I'm used to,
prices. And if you can't square with my prices, I'll be happy to refer you to someone who's willing to do that. But it won't be me. Mm-hmm.
I mean, half my time would be,
Mm-hmm.
and it wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't be worth it for me to go that far down in Miami
Mm-hmm.
for it. It wouldn't be. So, but then again, knowing your value, don't sell yourself cheap,
Mm-hmm.
below value.
Mm-hmm.
Know your worth, know your work, and charge accordingly. Now, I do give some people huge discounts, but most of the times these people are valuable customers. They're repeat customers.
Yeah, I said I do discounts for repeat customers, and I do
Hmm.
a discount for an initial project. So those are the two things that I do. I will
Right, me
do
too.
a discount for an initial project, and then if you are a repeat customer, I would give you a consistent discount. And
Hmm.
so most of my clients now are repeat customers because of that. And then I provide a fair market value price,
Hmm.
you know, but I'm not going to underprice myself to the point where I'm not making any profit. Like, we're not doing that.
Right.
And in some because mine is service based and intellectual property based, um, I don't do refunds on intellectual property
Hmm.
because I have to take the time to organize, plan, think, write proposals, and script something specific to my client. That's time that I can't get back. So no, we're not doing refunds here. We don't do refunds.
Hmm.
Now, if you need to hold off on a project or you need to reschedule, we can do that, but we don't do refunds. Like, if it's a physical
Hmm.
project, like a product like a book or a CD, I could do a refund on that. But when it comes to intellectual property, coaching, teaching, training, we don't do refunds. So if you're missing an appointment or something like that, we can reschedule. And you only get one time to reschedule. It's not a perpetual, I'm just going to keep putting it off into perpetuity. one reschedule, and if you don't meet that, you just gave me an offering because we're not doing
Mhm.
refund. And I have found that putting that in the contract up front helps people to value and honor your time. I do contracts. That's another thing. If a contract is too much for you, that already tells me we can't do business together
Mhm.
because you don't understand the legality of holding to your word.
Right.
I have to hold to my word, you have to hold to your word. That's what a contract is for.
Mhm.
And so if you can't even do that, there's nowhere for us to go beyond this initial conversation. The whole I don't do contracts, well, you won't be working with me.
Mhm. It
Get
holds you
somebody else to do
accountable.
it. Get somebody else to do it because you won't be working with me. And that's how it has to be sometimes. Now I have had people, and some people don't think that I am on to them and realize what they do. I do have people that come to me and act like they want to work with me. I've had that happen less, thankfully, over the years. But I have people that'll come and say they want to work with me and they ask me for a proposal, and I'll write the proposal, and then they say, "Oh, never mind. I know what you're doing. You don't know how to write a proposal. So you came to me like you wanted work to get me to write a proposal for you to go use that proposal for somebody else." People think they slick. I'm like, "You're not slick." You're not slick. And here's the thing, God is not going to bless whatever you just stole my proposal for to use in your own
Right.
business.
Mhm.
Because rather than coming to me for business coaching and saying, I need a proposal, I need to know how to write a proposal for X, Y, and Z, and paying me, you lied, got my proposal, and now you're trying to change it around and make it like this is your proposal for your business.
Mhm.
That is called lying, stealing, deceiving, and cheating. And let me add this caveat, and church people do this all the time.
All the time.
And God is not going to bless what you stole my contract for your business. So let me just
Right.
put that out there because there's been a couple people that have done that and they think that I don't know what they did. I know what you did. And that's why your business has not taken off because you stole rather than just being honest about the help that you needed. You could have paid me as a consultant to write you a contract that you could then use in your business consistently. No, you didn't do that. You lied and you acted like you wanted my business so you could see my contract template so you could go use it in your business. That is deception and dishonesty, and God cannot bless it.
Listen, I've had
And
that happen to
anytime you
me.
want to call and repent, you can still do that.
I've had that to happen to me where I submit a proposal,
Mm-hmm.
and that's basically what they did, and I know it because it's happened. There's this one particular person. He's done it more than once. Then all of a sudden, well, I'll call you when I'm ready, and he was
Mm-hmm.
never ready.
Mm-hmm.
See, so at that point, I caught on. Okay, he's calling me
Mm-hmm.
to get a proposal,
Mm-hmm.
which he uses,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm cut out.
Mm-hmm.
See, so I don't do that anymore. So, but
And so now what I have done with people that do stuff like that, you're gonna pay me a consulting fee.
hmm
So you want to meet? Here's my consulting fee and link. Because time is not free.
hmm
So yeah, we can talk. I can present to you what you need help with, but you're gonna pay me a fee. So whatever you use from that meeting, you're free to use it
hmm
because you will have paid for it. So we're not doing free consultations over here. I love y'all, For those of you who want to do free consultations, y'all have at it. But over here, I don't do free consultations because I've learned over the years that people like to hijack your intellectual property and then pretend it is theirs. This
Mhm.
happens all the time to coaches,
Mhm.
teachers, and writers. All the
Listen,
time.
and that's not something new.
No, it's not.
As ask a lot of the envelopians how, how, how their name got to be known because they stole something that a melanated person actually did the work for or did or came up with.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's nothing new. It's
It's
been around
nothing
for
new, but
centuries.
it's also sad when we do it to each other.
Yeah.
I'll say it that way. It's
Mhm.
sad when we do it to each other, and I never want to be that person, you know. And my thing is, if I'm not doing this to other people, I don't expect it to be done to me. But I have just learned over the years to cover myself in that regard because I got tired of people acting like they wanted to, provide business and then taking my information and starting their own business. And I know that they're starting it off the information, my template. So, yeah, if you want my information, you can feel free to sign up and meet me for a consultation. And my consultation starts in the three figures because of that. So, I'm just saying, when you
Mhm.
realize how things operate, you as a business owner have to protect yourself. And if you have trade secrets, you know, you've got to put some clauses into your work. You've got to do some non-DAs, you got to do some non-compete non-disclosures so that people are not just running off with your original things. And that's how it has to be. Um, does it make me less saved or less spiritual? But we got to have the natural and the spiritual working together. Because the reality is, people will shout hallelujah and rip you off in the same breath. And my husband has his own stories about that, but I tell him all the time, I said, listen, these people don't ever want me to start calling names because I will call them and I won't care. I'm like, you saving a lot of people's reputation by choosing not to name names. But I'm your wife and I'm not under them same obligations. So they better watch it and cool it. Cool it and watch it. Watch it and
Hey,
cool it, cool it and watch it.
listen, you from the 305. They better recognize.
I'm like, listen. I'm like, so many people have run off with stuff that they ain't supposed to run off with and have not paid my husband. And I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Mhm.
Even with
Yeah.
contracts, even with contracts. And so, you know, that's why I tell them. I said there's certain pastors and leaders I can't listen to a thing they have to say because they're not integrous in business. And I know
Mhm.
they're not integrous in business because my bank account shows they're not integrous in business because they didn't finalize their bills.
Mhm. And listen, I'm gonna say this. Scripture speaks on that.
I know. I know. And
Wow.
so I'm like, listen, you wondering why some people's things don't come to fruition, they still owe on the building project designs.
Mhm.
Yeah, they still owe and ran off with
Mhm.
the sketches to collect money. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm like, you really think God's gonna let you build that and you haven't paid the architect? You, sir, ma'am, are living in a pipe dream world.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing how some of them think just because they're a quote unquote child of God that they don't have to be morally correct.
Listen, and I'm gonna say it again. We could be over here millionaires over, several times over, if people would be correct in that regard.
Mhm.
He's owed money. And so you're fleecing the people. You ain't paid for your drawings. You owe my husband money. And you're taking food out of our house. And I'm being very honest about it. It is several leaders like that. That's why I don't listen to them. And as a leader, it has definitely shaped me not wanting to be anything like what I've seen in that regard.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've known people that lost their businesses simply because they won't pay people,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm one of them. One of them that they wouldn't pay.
Yep.
I know a guy that he had a contract. This is when Eckers was still around.
Mm-hmm.
Eckers and Walgreens. He lost that contract to one of his workers because they didn't want him back on the job anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy still. This was well, maybe about 20 years ago. 20 years ago, 18 years, something like that. And the guy still owe me money today.
I look at some of these people and I'm like, okay, it's been 10, it's been 15, it's been 20 years. Your congregation ain't asked you why y'all haven't built this yet. Because you stole from the architect. That's why.
Hmm.
You stole. You got the drawings, you got the visualizations, then you didn't follow through with payment, and then you had the nerve to take those stolen drawings and raise capital off of them, and you still haven't built what's in the drawings.
Yeah, well, Scripture speaks of this thing called repentance, which also has to do with repair.
All I said to my husband was, "You better than me.
Hmm.
You better than." But still, um, I'm very thankful of the things that we have. But the majority of where we are now is not because um, people did right by us. The majority is not because the black church did right by us. And I'm gonna say this. He has since then built and designed several other religious facilities, and them people pay,
Hmm.
and those people pay
Hmm.
early and on time. So if we gonna have the conversation, we're gonna have the conversation. We got to talk about the ways in which we do each other
Mhm.
in the name of Jesus.
Yeah.
And again, it's not all. I'm very thankful for the pastors that come through. But if you notice, I don't talk about any of them.
Right.
I don't talk about the good or the bad. But I will tell you that there's been more bad than good.
Mhm.
And when it comes to other religious facilities he's had to create, whether it's temples, whether it's synagogues, all of that, for other faiths, they don't have a problem with following through
Mhm.
and completing their other side. I don't think, I haven't heard him say not one client on those ends has taken a drawing and a design and then not finished paying for it.
Mhm.
But on our side, I got two hands and they both full. So that's something that, doesn't get talked about often. Um, People
Mhm.
tend to talk about the like the spiritual side, like the prophetic or the $100 lines or all that kind of stuff. I'm like, no, baby, it's so deep. It's way deeper than that. If you think that they're scheming you in a offering line, go ask the builders and the contractors what's going on. Go ask the builders and the contractors. If you think that they pulling schemes in your offering line, baby, that's the fruit. The root is, what are they doing with the builders and the contractors? What are they doing with your land, with their landlord for some of these buildings that they're in? That's the root. You're only seeing the fruit. You think, oh, they swindled me out of $10, $20. No, 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 no. Go talk to the architects and the contractors and the designers and the landlords. That's the root. Because if you think money management is happening here, trust and believe it's a through line all the way to the root of the problem.
Mhm.
I think I've said enough for today. Somebody gonna clip this and be like, "Preacher says that black churches ain't." Listen, I've said enough. I've
Yeah.
said enough. Yeah. But people
And
just
and
gotta, we just gotta be, we gotta be, as the scripture says, be men in business.
mhm.
I ain't a man,
Well, you're
but
supposed
I get the point. Hmm? You
many
still there?
people don't want to church, don't want to do work for many black churches. And I'm talking about black Christians don't want to do work for them because that's an issue.
Yeah, and my husband used to, people used to come to him, in the business side and say, we don't want to have anything to do with black churches because they're not integral when it comes to business.
Mhm.
And my husband kind of took that with a grain of salt until he started experiencing it over and over and over and
Mhm.
over and over and over and over and over again. And so yeah, there are some leaders, I will say there are some leaders that follow through, but more
Yeah.
often than not, it's more that are not following through than are, and that is a problem. And that is a problem. So that's a whole other segment. But I want to thank you all, for those of you who have stayed with us to hear the conclusion of the matter and got a whole earful of some more. I want to thank you all for your time and attention today. This has been another episode of Daring Dialogues, and I've been your host today, Shantae Charles. Remember, light is light is the most daring opposition to darkness. So continue to go out and be what?
Light.
Light. And that includes in your business affairs. Take care, be well, and most importantly, be light.